Welcome everyone to this new moon Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for April 25th and 26th, 2017. So a new moon on Wednesday at 07:23 Eastern time, suggesting a time of new beginnings. And it very much is new beginnings because the new moon will be in Aries. Now this is for Sidereal Astrology, so if you are new to the channel, be sure to check the link down below. Signs are different. But yes, if you actually looked up at the sky, obviously you would just see the sun, but if you used an app or something, you would see that the new moon is actually in Aries. So anyways, new beginnings here with essentially our personal needs. You know, if you think about what Aries is about, it's the ram, right? And in the constellation too, it's the ram that's on the hind legs, really initiating, pushing things forward, being active in the world, right? You know, forcing our will onto the world. That's essentially what Aries is about. So now we're integrating all of this collectively. There's a new beginning. Now, although this is a fire sign, it's very active, the new moon itself is a receptive time. It's a spiritual time. So the energies are lower, and that'll be especially the case on Tuesday, which is a clearing day leading up for the new moon on Wednesday. But even around Wednesday, it's a very good time to listen, right? Because we don't exactly know what these new beginnings are. We do know that we're integrating these qualities, but how that might be or how life is unfolding for us in the next lunar month and even in the next solar year with this, we're not exactly sure yet. All of that starts to come into the picture later. So great though to set intentions, just being flexible with it, especially because Mercury's retrograde, seeing what's shaping up. But yeah, asking yourself, where can you take initiation in your life? Where can you be direct? Where can you cultivate your personal needs in your life? And, you know, we're coming out of a very watery time, which was Pisces. And, you know, this takes time, right? Because, and even now, because we got Mercury retrograde in Pisces, we have Venus in Pisces still. So Pisces was about spirituality. It's about letting go. It's about surrender. Now we come to a very different energy, which is about actually taking that action in the physical world and being a part of the physical world. That takes some time to, you know, acclimate to, takes some time to build that energy within us. But, you know, what's great though is nonetheless is to start to be, you know, initiating and start to take the action. Because what ends up happening is if we wait for the, you know, we may feel like we need to wait till we feel confident or that we feel like we have the courage to take some of these steps. The truth of the matter is that the courage and the confidence comes through the initiation, comes after the initiation of taking those steps, right? So slowly but surely, as we go through this week, it is really good to, you know, essentially assert our will into the world through activeness, through wanting to cultivate what we feel like is important to us or to the world or to the community or to our relationships, you know, but it's because it's important to us fundamentally. And it's that step of then saying, okay, this is what I want to cultivate. This is what I want to initiate. And then taking the steps to do that is what builds the confidence, the courage, the initiation, the directness, the activeness even. It snowballs and a greater clarity and even more clarity of our personal needs through the process. All right, so there's no major aspects with this new moon, minor. We have a trine up to the north node, and it's very slightly part of this grand trine, which we'll look at. So I think it's going to be leaning more towards the easier side of things, but I think it's going to be a subtle new moon. I think it's going to take some time with all this integration, but certainly leaning more towards the supportive side to it. All right, so let's go and look at this in more detail. All right, so here is the chart of the new moon. So as you can see here, new moon in Aries, sort of towards the beginning of the spectrum, which is again suggesting that we're still very recently coming out of this very dreamy, very watery time, and we still very much are in that time still, with Mercury retrograde in Pisces and Venus still in Pisces. So we're still thinking about rethinking some things in our life. we're reworking some things, and that's the Mercury retrograde. But in Pisces, this is about maybe going back and establishing greater intuition at the moment, greater surrender. Mercury retrograde is also helping us surrender, let go of everything outside of our control, and to gain the insight and the intuition that comes from that more peaceful, accepting state. So certainly still Piscean, but now you have two fundamental aspects of our being: the sun, which is our focus on the world, right? And then you have the moon, which is our inner world, our emotions, the spiritual self, linking up here, starting a new beginning in the more active side of life. So yeah, see what comes in. Do check your weekly horoscope to see specifically what house this is, but collectively, there is this now new integration of activeness, a bit of somewhat clarity about our personal needs, what it is we want, how to go about, attaining what we want or achieving what we want, to take those steps to cultivate it. And again, through that initiation, we can be building the activeness, the directness, the independence, the confidence, the courage that then snowballs it and makes it even more supportive as we initiate and move things forward. Now, to get more information on this, you can check the dispositor of this new moon, which is Mars. Mars rules Aries. So it's kind of like getting, dissecting it, looking a little bit more specifically. And this is a Mars in Taurus, mind you. So I do feel like, as I was saying, it's subtle. And I think it's also a very grounded new moon as well. Mars in Taurus is about taking our time with things. That even though it is about taking steps, it's taking the time, doing things slowly, steadily, making sure we've got all the resources and we've got one step firmly placed before we take the next step, right? I think that's how we're naturally doing things anyways. That's what's been the case with Mars in Taurus. But now this new moon could be specifically emphasizing the importance of this, the importance of being grounded with our steps, connecting to Earth, stopping to enjoy things along the journey, right? Taurus is about enjoyment. It's about the senses. It's about gratitude, being aware of what we do have in our life, particularly on a material level, and connecting to that, enjoying it, connecting to Mother Earth, right? Walking barefoot outside, connecting energetically to the grounded aspects of Earth, and again, enjoying everything that she does provide. So I think that's going to be a big part of this. And I think the grounded energy is also confirmed by the fact that, as I was saying, there's this very slight grand trine. There's this easy grand trine taking place with the new moon. It's not exact. And this all depends on, your orbs, right? Like, how many degrees do you consider a trine? This is using 8 degrees. Some astrologers might use 10. Some astrologers might use an entire sign. So there's a reason for that. And just because nothing is like, specifically black and white with astrology. Everything is, it's barometric. It's what do you say? It's like a hue, right? So this is saying that's very close to this grand trine. And I do think that this new moon is going to be on the easier side of things, on the supportive side of things. And I think with the Saturn, this very slight trine up to Saturn, we could, yes, be feeling very stable with this, being willing to take things slowly, which is usually the case when something trines Saturn. We're willing to see the big picture, right? We're willing to be patient, disciplined, pragmatic. And I think that's going to be a quality, a minor quality, but certainly available. The other side of the trine to the new moon is the North Node in Leo. And in fact, this is actually much more exact within that 8-degree orb. So not a major planet, but the North Node here is a suggestion that last year and this year has been a time of discovering what we're passionate about, what it is that's close to our heart, and expressing ourselves in the process, learning about our self-expression through learning about what we enjoy. So this is a very fiery energy here, right? New moon in Aries, active initiation, new moon or North Node in Leo, all right? Learning about what it is we're passionate about and that self-expression. So I think it's all linked up. I think this new moon is very much associated with a new beginning for a much larger life path direction for all of us. And again, I think it is a path of self-discovery, and I think it is a path towards discovering more about those passions. And I think just being open to learning about, you know, trying new things, expressing yourself in new ways. Stuff like this is a fantastic way of working with this new moon, as it has been fantastic all of last year and all of this year, because we're learning so much about these things that are important to us and this self-expression at the moment. All right, so that's how I'd sum up the new moon. Certainly new beginnings, and collectively about the initiating aspects of ourself. It will be at 0723 on Wednesday, leading up to it, the balsamic phase, the ending phase of the last lunar cycle, which is about clearing, making space, listening. The moon will be in Pisces on Tuesday. And through that space, a sort of new thing starting to sprout up in our life. And it's essentially requiring that independent, direct, active energy of Aries. All right, so here's the lunar aspects if you do want to see them. The moon is going to be going over this Mercury-Uranus conjunction, which is going to play a larger role later in the week. I think later in the week, things are going to be quite exciting or different. We'll be mixing things up, trying new things. And Tuesday could have a tinge of this. Maybe you're thinking about some new exciting things, or you have some new ideas, or it's very innovative. But again, that Mercury's retrograde. So just try a bunch of new things. See where you can have some freedom in your life. Cultivate your life in a way that is in alignment with your freedom, with your true self. But again, be flexible with Mercury retrograde, because it's all about learning right now at the moment. All right, there's that trine from the moon up to Saturn in the North Node. And then as we go into the rest of the week, yeah, we'll probably start to feel a bit more of that mixing things up. All right, so that's the new moon in a nutshell. Hope you guys have a fantastic new moon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.